Why do you wake up early? Why do you wake up early?
To have a productive day. To have a productive day.
Why do you drink coffee? Why do you drink coffee?
It helps me stay awake. It helps me stay awake.
Why do you go to the gym? Why do you go to the gym?
To stay healthy. To stay healthy.
Why do you read books? Why do you read books?
To learn new things. To learn new things.
Why do you like this song? Why do you like this song?
It's catchy and upbeat. It's catchy and upbeat.
Why do you study English? Why do you study English?
To communicate better. To communicate better.
Why do you cook dinner? Why do you cook dinner?
To save money and eat healthy. To save money and eat healthy.
Why do you walk to work? Why do you walk to work?
It's good exercise. It's good exercise.
Why do you smile? Why do you smile?
It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel happy.
Why do you help others? Why do you help others?
Because it's the right thing to do. Because it's the right thing to do.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I heard a funny joke. I heard a funny joke.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
I watched a sad movie. I watched a sad movie.
Why are you studying? Why are you studying?
I have an exam tomorrow. I have an exam tomorrow.
Why are you wearing a hat? Why are you wearing a hat?
It's sunny outside. It's sunny outside.
Why are you sitting here? Why are you sitting here?
I'm waiting for my friend. I'm waiting for my friend.
Why are you working late? Why are you working late?
I have a deadline to meet. I have a deadline to meet.
Why are you cleaning the house? Why are you cleaning the house?
It's getting messy. It's getting messy.
Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?
I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you.
Why are you talking so fast? Why are you talking so fast?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Why are you cooking dinner? Why are you cooking dinner?
I invited guests over. I invited guests over.
Why can't you come to the party? Why can't you come to the party?
I have to work. I have to work.
Why can't you help me? Why can't you help me?
I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well.
Why can't you drive? Why can't you drive?
I don't have a license. I don't have a license.
Why can't you stay longer? Why can't you stay longer?
I have an early morning. I have an early morning.
Why can't you find your keys? Why can't you find your keys?
I misplaced them. I misplaced them.
Why can't you hear me? Why can't you hear me?
The phone's volume is low. The phone's volume is low.
Why can't you eat this? Why can't you eat this?
I'm allergic to nuts. I'm allergic to nuts.
Why can't you come with us? Why can't you come with us?
I have other plans. I have other plans.
Why can't you speak English? Why can't you speak English?
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Why can't you play the guitar? Why can't you play the guitar?
I haven't learned yet. I haven't learned yet.
Why did you go to bed late? Why did you go to bed late?
I was watching a movie. I was watching a movie.
Why did you miss the bus? Why did you miss the bus?
I woke up late. I woke up late.
Why did you cancel the meeting? Why did you cancel the meeting?
Something urgent came up. Something urgent came up.
Why did you buy a new phone? Why did you buy a new phone?
My old one was broken. My old one was broken.
Why did you eat dessert first? Why did you eat dessert first?
I was craving sweets. I was craving sweets.
Why did you change your mind? Why did you change your mind?
I got new information. I got new information.
Why did you leave early? Why did you leave early?
I had a prior commitment. I had a prior commitment.
Why did you wear a jacket? Why did you wear a jacket?
It was cold outside. It was cold outside.
Why did you call me? Why did you call me?
I needed to ask you something. I needed to ask you something.
Why did you apologize? Why did you apologize?
I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Why did you start your new job? Why did you start your new job?
It was a great opportunity. It was a great opportunity.
Why did you go to the doctor? Why did you go to the doctor?
I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well.
Why did you take the day off? Why did you take the day off?
I needed a break. I needed a break.
Why did you say that? Why did you say that?
I was upset at the time. I was upset at the time.
Why did you choose this restaurant? Why did you choose this restaurant?
It has great reviews. It has great reviews.
Why did you bring your laptop? Why did you bring your laptop?
I needed to finish some work. I needed to finish some work.
Why did you go shopping? Why did you go shopping?
I needed some new clothes. I needed some new clothes.
Why did you stop by my house? Why did you stop by my house?
I wanted to drop off something for you. I wanted to drop off something for you.
Why did you leave the event early? Why did you leave the event early?
I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well.
Why did you change the plans? Why did you change the plans?
Something came up. Something came up.
Why don't you drink alcohol? Why don't you drink alcohol?
I don't like the taste. I don't like the taste.
Why don't you wear glasses? Why don't you wear glasses?
I have perfect vision. I have perfect vision.
Why don't you drive to work? Why don't you drive to work?
I prefer walking. I prefer walking.
Why don't you take the bus? Why don't you take the bus?
It's not convenient for me. It's not convenient for me.
Why don't you travel more? Why don't you travel more?
I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time.
Why don't you read more books? Why don't you read more books?
I prefer watching movies. I prefer watching movies.
Why don't you play video games? Why don't you play video games?
I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Why don't you exercise regularly? Why don't you exercise regularly?
I'm too busy. I'm too busy.
Why don't you like cooking? Why don't you like cooking?
It takes too much time. It takes too much time.
Why don't you visit your friends often? Why don't you visit your friends often?
I'm usually busy. I'm usually busy.
Why were you late? Why were you late?
There was heavy traffic. There was heavy traffic.
Why were they arguing? Why were they arguing?
They disagreed on something. They disagreed on something.
Why were you crying? Why were you crying?
I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling overwhelmed.
Why were you talking during the movie? Why were you talking during the movie?
I was explaining the plot. I was explaining the plot.
Why were they laughing? Why were they laughing?
They heard a funny joke. They heard a funny joke.
Why were you running? Why were you running?
I was late for my appointment. I was late for my appointment.
Why were you looking at me? Why were you looking at me?
I was thinking about something. I was thinking about something.
Why were you studying so late? Why were you studying so late?
I had a lot of homework. I had a lot of homework.
Why were you cleaning the kitchen? Why were you cleaning the kitchen?
It was dirty. It was dirty.
Why were they waiting outside? Why were they waiting outside?
The store wasn't open yet. The store wasn't open yet.
Why don't you eat vegetables? Why don't you eat vegetables?
I don't like the taste. I don't like the taste.
Why don't you go out more? Why don't you go out more?
I'm usually busy. I'm usually busy.
Why don't you watch TV? Why don't you watch TV?
I prefer reading. I prefer reading.
Why don't you drink soda? Why don't you drink soda?
It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy.
Why don't you speak louder? Why don't you speak louder?
I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be polite.
Why don't you help me? Why don't you help me?
I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry.
Why don't you like coffee? Why don't you like coffee?
It makes me jittery. It makes me jittery.
Why don't you travel often? Why don't you travel often?
I can't afford it right now. I can't afford it right now.
Why don't you play sports? Why don't you play sports?
I don't have time. I don't have time.
Why don't you eat meat? Why don't you eat meat?
I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian.
Why have you stopped working? Why have you stopped working?
I finished my tasks. I finished my tasks.
Why have you moved? Why have you moved?
I got a new job. I got a new job.
Why have you changed your mind? Why have you changed your mind?
I got new information. I got new information.
Why have you been crying? Why have you been crying?
I watched a sad movie. I watched a sad movie.
Why have you not replied to my message? Why have you not replied to my message?
I didn't see it earlier. I didn't see it earlier.
Why have you been so tired lately? Why have you been so tired lately?
I've been working a lot. I've been working a lot.
Why have you been feeling sick? Why have you been feeling sick?
I caught a cold. I caught a cold.
Why have you bought a new car? Why have you bought a new car?
My old car broke down. My old car broke down.
Why have you moved to a new house? Why have you moved to a new house?
I wanted to be closer to my job. I wanted to be closer to my job.
Why have you started exercising? Why have you started exercising?
I want to get in better shape. I want to get in better shape.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
I heard a funny joke. I heard a funny joke.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
I watched a sad movie. I watched a sad movie.
Why are you studying? Why are you studying?
I have an exam tomorrow. I have an exam tomorrow.
Why are you wearing a hat? Why are you wearing a hat?
It's sunny outside. It's sunny outside.
Why are you sitting here? Why are you sitting here?
I'm waiting for my friend. I'm waiting for my friend.
Why are you working late? Why are you working late?
I have a deadline to meet. I have a deadline to meet.
Why are you cleaning the house? Why are you cleaning the house?
It's getting messy. It's getting messy.
Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?
I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you.
Why are you talking so fast? Why are you talking so fast?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Why are you cooking dinner? Why are you cooking dinner?
I invited guests over. I invited guests over.